The EFF is set to elect new leadership at its National People's Assembly next month. It comes into its national conference on the back foot after a bruising few months. The new kid on the block, the MK party, not only surpassed it at the ballot box, but it has also taken some of the party's most high-profile leaders, including Floyd, Shivambu and Dali Mpofu. Newzroom Afrika's politics editor, Lukhanyo Calata, reports.
A week is a long time in politics. Words first uttered by former British Prime Minister Harold Wilson all the way back in 1964. Little did he know then just how true that 8-word sentence would ring in 2024. Now, at the start of last week, EFF leader Julius Malema would hardly have anticipated another significant loss in his party's ranks. Yet on Thursday, advocate Dali Mpofu dropped a bombshell. He announced that he was quitting the EFF, opting to join his former deputy president Floyd Shivambu as a member of the Umkhonto weSizwe party. This move came just weeks after Shivambu had himself ditched the EFF for former President Jacob Zuma's MK party.
This time it's really, as I say, it's a matter of where do I think I can make the best contribution and which of the progressive organizations do I think has got the biggest potential to unite all of us. I'm not, one of these people about what color of T-shirt you are wearing. I'm more about the cause itself, the broader movement, and I have a very big interest in that because I do feel that for centuries the reasons that we have been defeated by our enemy is because we have been fighting in silos, if you like. And they've never really had to face us as a formidable united force. And I think MK carries that promise much better than any other existing alternative.
But this hasn't always been the case. Just 3 years ago, Mpofu was part of a delegation, including Malema, that met for tea with former President Zuma. At the time, it was reported that the meeting may have been to plot President Cyril Ramaphosa and his party's downfall. 3 years later, though, Ramaphosa is not the one in the crosshairs. Instead, it's Malema and the EFF who continue to lose ground to Zuma and the MK party.
Everything I'm telling you now, he knew about, and at least the top leadership of the EFF. As I've just explained to you, I chaired meetings of leaders. That included the leadership of the EFF in those meetings when we were still at the covert or underground stage. So if he was finding it out today like you, then he might feel that way. But no, at all given times, I kept the leadership of the EFF abreast and, as I say, invited them to all those meetings.
Weeks before Mpofu's defection, the MK party had secured perhaps its biggest coup to date when Shivambu swapped his red beret for the green of MK. Shortly after joining, Shivambu now holds office as the party's new Secretary General.
I'm humbled by the responsibility that we have been given to lead the organization as Secretary General. Of course, as part of the collective leadership that is under President Jacob Zuma, who has assigned us this responsibility to be Secretary General. So the appointment is a humbling experience. It's also a statement of saying that we should play the role that more or less we have been playing together with the recently outgone Secretary General, Dr. Siso Maseko, who did exceptionally very well.
One of Shivambu's first tasks in office was to deny reports that he had convinced other high-profile recruits, such as Mpofu, the former public protector advocate Busisiwe Mkhwabane, and Mzwanele Manyi, to ditch the EFF.
They joined Umkhonto weSizwe by themselves out of their own political consciousness, out of their own appreciation that they believe that Umkhonto weSizwe will play an important role and that they will make the necessary contribution. It is not my individual achievement. These are adults. These are people who have got huge political history. I mean, Advocate Mpofu, for instance, will be next year 50 years as an activist. Mzwane Lemanyi has played several roles. He was a Director General at some stage in his life. He had been a member of parliament. He was a president or chairperson of the Black Management Forum. Advocate Mkhwebane is an accomplished individual.
At least one political party has already highlighted Shivambu's appointment as good for MK, pitting him against ANC Secretary General Fikile Mbalula, with no mention at all of the EFF's SG, Marshall Dlamini.
You look at Fikile Mbalula, he's the SG of the ANC, and then now Floyd Shivambu is the SG of the MK party, and they're on the opposite end. And then we'll see who is the real SG, because the real SG is the one that is going to understand his identity and then stick to the lane and then run on that lane. As for Malema is the leader of the EFF. He remains the leader of the EFF, but of course he has done his part in terms of one, forming the party and then growing the party up to now. Then the focus will be on the two, that is Floyd Shivambu and then of course Fikile Mbalula, who are occupying the same position in different political parties. And then of course we'll see how they manage the situation. But all in all, I'm particularly happy with the fact that we've allowed former youth league leaders to rise up and then occupy senior positions.
It's unclear at this stage how the battle of the parties and their SGs will unfold. But the EFF will surely hope to change that narrative when it elects new leaders at its National People's Assembly next month. For Newzroom Afrika on Channel 405, I'm Lukhanyo Calata in Johannesburg.